Hey, Girl Emerge family. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Emerge podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Hill, and guys, I am so pumped for today's episode because we're diving into something that I absolutely love talking about. And I know that I am always saying that. But guys, I have been in business for so long, and there are so many things that I have discovered as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that I had to crawl my way out of many times. And there is always so many different things and so many different revelations in my journey thus far that being able to overcome things and have victory over those obstacles, it becomes my favorite thing. So excuse me if you feel like I'm always saying that. It's really and truly the truth. Now, today, this episode is something that I really love talking about because I'm literally living it right now with Honey Milk. And that is how to grow your hands-on business as a maker in a way that's both authentic and genuine. Now, if you're a creator, an artist, a maker of beautiful things, whether it's, candles, soaps, jewelry, or something else that's magical, today's episode is really and truly for you. Now, I know firsthand how challenging it can be to take that leap from crafting as a passion to growing it into a thriving business. But I also know the joy and pride that comes from seeing people connect with your handmade creations. So let's talk about some super practical yet fun and exciting ways that you can really grow your maker business and get your products out there for the world to see. So, you guys know the routine. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, guys. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. No fluff episode. Number 1, getting out there. Let's talk about physical outlets for makers. So first things first, one of the best ways to get your handmade products into the hands of people who are really looking for what you have to offer and those that will love your products is through physical outlets. And I'm talking about face-to-face interaction. I'm talking about letting your customers touch, feel, smell, see your products in real life. Now, here are some really great ways, guys, and I mean some great ways to make yourself visible. Number 1 is farmers markets and craft fairs. It has expanded a little bit more outside of this, but we'll talk about those avenues as well a little later. Now, let's be real. Now, if you're not showing up at farmers markets or craft fairs, you're really missing out on a huge, and I mean a huge opportunity. These types of events, guys, are filled with people who are literally hunting for unique handmade items just like yours. These are the people who have their normal staples in their lives where they like what they like. They feel safe with what they feel safe with. They feel safe with what they've been using for a very long time. But how many of you know that eventually people get bored? People discover new things. People switch lifestyles. And so your products, they're actually a gold mine for the customer, and the farmers markets and craft fairs. That's a gold mine for makers. All right. Plus, the energy at these markets is always so lively and it's always so supportive, which makes it even more fun. So hear me out. I am an introvert, and I know that a lot of you are that listen to this podcast. You have not one clue on what it feels like to be that extroverted person wanting to go and be in the face of other people talking about your products. Notice keyword wanting to do it. Because I promise you, if you put me behind a wall and tell me I can sell from that behind that wall, I'll do it. And I'll do it well. But put me in front of someone and tell me that I have to tell them all about my business and this is the only way to do it, I am going to freeze up. I may not do so well. But guess what? Over time, I have gotten better. And I knew once I saw the impact that people coming up to my products and being able to smell them, touch them, see them, and meet me in person, once I saw how that was really able to put me in a different echelon, it was able to put me in a different place in terms of being a brand and how much money I was able to make. Let's be clear. Let's be a little bit more transparent. Once I saw that, I tightened up. I tightened up because I'm going to be honest, guys, people love real connection. They really go for real connection. They are more apt to purchase from you if they what? Like, know, and trust you. And they cannot do that behind the internet all the time. It just does not happen. I actually get a lot of calls from people that I met at farmers markets and craft shows because they liked the connection they made with me and they felt safer talking to me about any personal issues that they had as it pertained to my products. That's like the best feeling in the world. So pro tip, the way you can go about feeling a little bit more confident, a little bit more personable, and a little bit more comfortable at craft shows is get into the habit or get into a practice of making your booth or your table as inviting as possible. This was something that I finally did this year. I think I did it before, but I fell off from doing it and it was just thrown out of my mind. Forgot all about it. Use vibrant, eye-catching signage. Guys, holy moly. And also have samples of your product, if possible, for people to experience. So these are things that make people, like, you have no choice to walk up because people are very naturally inquisitive. They have no choice but to walk up when they see a sign that says free samples, free anything, free sniffs. Okay, even if it's just to smell something, you're inviting them in. Sometimes people will walk to my booth, they will see the sign free 3 samples or something like that, and they stop at the sample thing, but they're sitting there like literally, guys, true story, they are sniffing the scent through the little plastic bags, knowing dang on well they can't smell it. Instead of just going right into the booth, they would rather sit there and sniff and try to figure out which one is the best scent. And the full bar is right there, just 1 yard away. So a lot of people, I say that to say a lot of people are more introverted than you think. Okay, but make it very inviting because people love knowing the face and the heart behind a product. So having free samples, having a sign, talking points, is going to make them ask questions. It's going to help them to spark up conversation and give you a part of their story as to why they use natural products, or why they're interested in natural products, or why they wear a certain type of bracelet now versus, or why they like this color because of breast cancer or whatever. Like, people need a reason to share their story. Okay. You can help to do that with your brand by having free samples, by having a free try on if you have a jewelry company, by having free samples of taste if you have like baked goods or something like that. Give them that word free, and it's going to make them come over there. You can also get one of those spin for a free prize or something like that. Those are really cool, and that's my next investment that I'm going to get. I'm going to get a spin wheel so that people can be more apt to come over and buy, because they feel like if I spin the wheel, I'm going to win something. I'm going to get something. And people love that idea of gambling for something as well. So there's so many ways to invite them over to your booth and make your booth or your table very inviting. Now, when it comes to pop-up shops, guys, pop-up shops are like mini events, but they're just for you. Sometimes they are for other people. We're now in the habit of calling a pop-up shop kind of like an all-inclusive situation, but those are also maker markets and things like that. But pop-up shops are really just for you. It's a way that you can communicate to your audience that you're going to be in a specific place. So you call your being in that place a pop-up. I'm having a pop-up here. I'm having a pop-up there. Now, granted, nowadays there may be other people there, and that's fine. But use the terminology of pop-up when you're communicating with your audience, the people that have already purchased from you or are interested in purchasing from you, or they follow you for whatever reason. So you can also, now if we want to talk about exclusive pop-up shops, you can actually set up a temporary space in something like a local boutique, a cafe, or even at a shopping mall, guys. It's really a great way, a fantastic way to get exposure to a different crowd, because your customer base is not always going to be there. They may not take your invitation to come out and meet you there and smell and try on and all the things. But the best part about this is that it's your showcase. You highlight yourself. Now, you can do this by getting together with a very popular restaurant, a barber shop, a consignment shop, anything like that, where there's good foot traffic and you're exclusively going to be there for the day, and highlight yourself. Now, granted, you may or may not make a ton of sales. It really is a toss up in the air. But what I try to teach people when it comes to markets and pop-up shops, the best thing to do is go there for content. Now, if you sell something, that will be even more amazing. If you sell out, that would be astounding. But it's all about getting content so that you can continue the social proof of your business. Have people holding up soap bars and trying on jewelry, and you taking pictures of it and getting their permission to do so. They may or they may not buy it. They may be so excited because you're putting them on your social media page, they may even purchase from you. That's what being a brand is all about, making it an experience, an entire experience for your customer. And a really great way to do that is through pop-up shops. Okay, so let me give you a pro tip when it comes to pop-up shops. Now, if you're not sure where to start, like I said, you want to reach out to local coffee shops, boutiques, barber shops, places like that, and ask them if they're open to hosting a pop-up event for you, exclusively for you. Now, you would literally be surprised at how many places are excited to support local artisans or local makers. I did a pop-up shop that was exclusive to me and one other person. And it was just so much fun, guys. We had the best conversations. I made about $200 that night. It was in a small apartment place, room, house, or apartment. And it was so much fun. It wasn't a whole bunch of people there, but there were very quality people there. And I made over $200 in one day. And that was pretty good for the amount of people that were there. So the next option is retail consignment or wholesale. Now, this option is a little bit different than a craft fair or a market or a pop-up. Now, this option for expanding your reach is where you're going to partner with local stores to carry your products on consignment or through wholesale. This is a great way to get your handmade goods in front of customers who shop at boutiques, they shop at boutique stores, or they shop at lifestyle shops. Plus, once your products are in front of a store, once they're in that store, you have someone else helping to promote and to sell them. Guys, how cool is that? You don't have to do a lot of work when it comes to retail consignment or wholesale. Now, when Honey Milk does this, what we like to tell the store owner when we're, negotiating the opportunity or, the deal, we always say that because we are part brand agency, we like to say, hey, we also are going to put you on our website as one of our authorized retailers. And we will help push people, our local store, we will help to push our local customer base to your store, and that is what will push them to want to do business with you and bring you on. So let me give you a pro tip for retail consignment and wholesaling. I want you guys to get in the habit of looking for shops that really align with your brand's vibe and your brand values. The vibe and the values, guys. You want to, okay, let me say it in this way. You want your products sitting on shelves where your ideal customers already shop. Keyword, already. They're already there. They already frequent that shop, and that is where you want your products to be. Why? Because you have a much better chance of selling out at that location, because they are going to that location because 1, they're comfortable, 2, they know them, and 3, they trust them. So now you need to bring your products there and deliver every time. You have exactly what they're looking for. All right. Now, as always, make sure your branding and packaging are on point. I cannot stress this enough, because why? People shop with their eyes first. I don't care what anybody says. People shop with their eyes first. It's not always about what something smells like. It's not always about what something, the texture of something is. They want to see how it looks first, and if they can resonate with how that thing looks. If it's drawing me in, if it's cute, if it's sized right, is it exactly what I've been looking for according to, the aesthetics? They shop with their eyes first. So the next one that we want to talk about when it comes to getting out there, these physical outlets for makers, guys, we want to talk about vendor opportunities at events. This is something that I am going into more now, where I've become an event organizer, because I always want Honey Milk to be at the best markets. And in order for me to do that, I have to create these markets myself, because every market that I go to is not always the best, and it's not the target that I'm looking for with my brand. And so I'm jumping on the bandwagon, and I became an event organizer with a company I've named Shop and Nibble. And that's another story for another day. I am obsessed with this one. I really am obsessed with this one. I made a vow to myself. I made it actually a couple of years ago, but COVID happened and the whole thing, and I fell off from the thought. But I made a vow to myself to make sure I fill the entire year with nothing but pop up markets, vendor events, and pop up markets. All right. Now, partnering with weddings, corporate events, or even holiday parties, guys, as a vendor, it can really be a unique way to get your products in front of large groups of people all at once, literally all at once. And offering custom items or things like party favors, that's actually a fun way to expand your reach. And everyone loves a personalized touch. For instance, I did an event 2 weeks ago. It was in Columbus, Georgia, and it was called The Bloom, a garden attire bridge party. And so I don't know if you know or have ever seen people. They go to there's kind of like a bougie affair where they go into the gardens and they have tea and they have big flowers on their hats and they dress in their Sunday best, but it's always flowing in the wind with a bunch of flowers. And the garden setup is always beautiful with these cute chairs and flower bouquets, and everybody's sipping on tea and their beautiful sundresses and big hats with flowers. The men are dressed very dapper. Well, that was this type of event. And guys, when I tell you I love my people, they came out beautifully well dressed. And the scenery, the aesthetics of the event was amazing. It was amazing, but it was a themed event. And normally, vendor opportunities are typically very themed at these types of events, or events, period, for vendors. They're very themed. And sometimes we miss the boat and we don't dress up our booth or do our whole brand vibe and match it up with this theme. And the theme can be anything. It may not be as intricate as a garden party, but sometimes people are having multicultural festivals. And they're inviting vendors to be a part of it. They're having, some sort of luau or a barbecue this or a car show, whatever that they've opened the floor for vendors to be at. Dress your booth up according to that theme, because what happens is you draw in the people that are there to be a part of the event, or the people that have come there to experience the event. Normally the customers, the people that signed up or they bought tickets or whatever, they're in the general audience, and then they come there specifically for that theme, and then they come in contact with your booth, and you're a part of the theme too, but you're selling your brand. Genius, guys. I think a lot of us we don't hit that mark when it comes to vendor opportunities at events. We just show up as our brand and that is it. We're not tied into the theme at all. We bring all the same products all the time. We don't bring the products that will, like, for instance, at a wedding event, if I'm invited to do a show for weddings where the brides come out, they look at dresses, they do cake tasting, whatever. It's a bunch of people that are about to get married. And they want people there, like soap companies, they want jewelry companies or whatever there. There is no way in hell that I'm going to come with all my products. What I'm going to do is outfit my brand to have a bunch of guest size soaps packaged in a certain way that will give them, as soon as they come into contact with my booth, it's going to give them the essence of party favors. It's going to give them the essence of, oh my God, these products will make awesome gifts for my guests at my wedding party. You understand what I'm saying? So it depends on where you're going as a vendor. Guys, it's not a bad thing to dress it up and tie your brand experience or your brand existence into that specific event. So, pro tip, connect with event planners in your area, because they're often looking for fresh, unique ideas that's going to make their events stand out. And guys, listen, that's where your amazing handmade goods are going to come in. Do you follow? All right. Make sure you give me a comment if you follow, if you understand what I mean by that. Now, let's move on to the next section, and that is networking. 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 IRL. It's not just for suits. Okay? Guys, it's not just for suits. And what I mean by that is, first and foremost, the word networking, I know that sounds very intimidating, especially as an introvert. Networking petrifies me. Anything where someone invites me to be a part of, and it involves people standing around and talking, it's just not for me. So networking in real life, it's just like, ooh, I just can't. I'm not excited to go. I'm just not. And networking is very intimidating. So, but I do promise you this. It's really not just for corporate folks, guys. And I have made sales. I've gotten new customers because I was literally networking in real life. I remember I was sitting in a club, and the girlfriend of one of our friends, for some reason, I didn't know she followed me on my Honey Milk page. And for some reason, she brought up something about ordering products from me, and she saw that, and I didn't know this lady from Adam, but she knew my sister, and she knew, who I was, of course. And she started talking to me about, oh my God, your products, and oh yeah, I follow your page. And I'm like, wow, what? And honey, I made an $80 sale sitting next to her that day. Literally, and this is a true story, guys. 80 something dollars, and sales were still coming in, and I was able to show her that at the same time, because I literally had, and I said, this is so crazy, I have a sale going on right now. And she didn't know because she wasn't on my mailing list, and I didn't post it on my page. And I said, well, use this coupon code. So she started telling me about her daughter's hair and how it wouldn't curl, and she's natural, but she thinks it's over processed, and yada yada yada. And I told her exactly what to do, and all the things, and she bought my entire hairline. Hello. So networking in real life, it is not just for suits, guys. It is for wherever you are and you have a story or a product that falls in line with someone's issue. That's what it's all about. Okay? So, as a maker, in-person networking is one of the best ways that you can grow your business. It's one of the best ways, because this is where I tell you to get very familiar, get very comfortable with your 4-second spill. Your elevator pitch, that's not an elevator pitch. Okay? Get very comfortable with it, because you're not just saying, oh, I am a soap maker, I make natural soaps. You're saying, depending on what that person says, you're saying that every day I get to make skincare products that saves someone's skin from things like eczema, psoriasis, dry, flaky, itchy skin, acne. That's what you're saying. I make jewelry, I handcraft jewelry made from such and such materials that helps to lighten the mood, or it's made with this because it's better for the skin versus that you know what I mean? Like you're selling the benefits of your product. That's it. So networking, in-person networking, in real life networking is a gem, but you have to have that talking point down packed. because you don't want to just say, oh, yeah, I'm a soap maker. I design everything myself. I make everything myself. Oh, okay, that's cute. Oh, congratulations. There's nothing else to talk about? No, we can't do it like that. Talk about the benefits of your product, why you are a soap maker, why are you a jewelry maker, what's the special about it? Why is it so special? There's a million other soap makers out there. Why is yours so special? Why is your jewelry so special? What is it about your jewelry that makes it special? I break out. Is it going to help me with that? Or is it going to make me break out more? You understand what I'm saying? So when you attend local business events like meetups and things like that, creative workshops, you open the door also, guys, for collaborations. You open the door for things like referrals, all right, and tons more of growth opportunities. Now, let me give you a pro tip. Join local maker groups or small business associations, because the more you network with your local business owners, the more people will know who you are and what you're all about and the benefits of what you have to offer. And listen, who knows where that can lead? Okay? Who knows? Maybe your next big opportunity can come from a connection that you made at a local event. Who knows? All right. So let's talk about number 3, and that is staying consistent. This is the secret sauce of it all, guys. So here's the thing, ladies. Consistency is everything. You can't just show up at one event, one in-person event, and not be interested in doing it again and again and again, no matter how uncomfortable you are. Guys, you can't just show up to one market in 1 year, sell at that one pop-up, chat with like one retailer, chat with one consignment shop, and expect to blow up overnight. It just does not happen that way. And the reality is, growth takes time. It really takes time. Everything that you do needs to be consistent. It needs to be intentional as well. And understand this, the more consistent that you are, the more your audience and your customer base will grow. The more they will recognize you for the expert, the one to know in this specific field. Consistency in your presence is everything. Now, when you're regularly showing up at markets, at fairs, or in stores, people start to recognize your brand. They're going to remember your face. They're going to remember your product, your story. And then before you know it, you've built trust with your audience. And that's what listen. And trust, that's what they need. Trust is gold in the market business. It's gold. I have gained more followers when I started putting my story out there about my desire to save my son from autism, whatever that meant. And for me, it was keeping the toxins out of his skin that goes into his system that was going to harm him even further. So I got on a mission to keep it out. So much so that I read a little skinny book for 2 years because I did not believe that I could do it. I couldn't understand the concept. I couldn't fathom concocting recipes that would turn into a soap bar, from liquid to a soap bar, a hard bar. I couldn't fathom that. But I did it, and look at us 13 years later. And people remember my story and they follow me because of it. I inspire people across the world. People have tried my products across the world. Can you imagine that? And all it took was me taking that first step in making the product and then getting bold enough to share the story, because I knew that I needed something extra. I knew that what I was going through with my son and how I was helping my son was going to make a difference in someone else's life. And so I did it. I wanted them to trust me. I wanted to turn over a leaf in my business. Trust was everything. So here's a pro tip. I want you to pick a few key events or outlets, and I want you to focus on them consistently and intently, but I want you to intently pick them. So whether it's a monthly market, a quarterly pop-up, or even a regular retail partnership, keep showing up. I dare you, keep showing up. But don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do everything at once. Start with one small outlet. Because I promise you guys, consistency beats burnout every time. I have been doing this for 13 years now. Just this. Of course, I had other businesses before this or other movements before this. I was a professional dancer. And I promise you, even with that, consistency will beat burnout every time. I got more tired on the stage as a professional dancer because sometimes I felt like I was too good to even train. And I would flick my behind up there on that stage, honey, and be about to pass out. My technique wasn't there. But when I showed up to class consistently and I stretched and I did the execution of my step and my technique with intention, I can fly across the stage and not break a sweat. And people felt it more. They felt my performance a lot more just because I was being consistent. How about that? There's consistency and quality. Okay? So as your business grows, never sacrifice the quality of your products. Never sacrifice the quality of your products. Your customers will keep coming back because they love the handcrafted quality you provide. So make a plan to keep your standards really high. And make a plan on how you're going to stay true to what makes your products unique. Remember, it's a million of them out there doing the same exact thing you do. Okay, let's talk about this pro tip real quick. As you grow, consider ways to streamline your process without compromising the craftsmanship. Okay, it's important that you learn how to keep a balance. Keeping a balance between efficiency and quality is key to having sustainable growth. I remember like it was yesterday, standing at my curing rack, my first set of curing racks. And I didn't know what I was doing, y'all. Listen, can we be transparent for a moment? I had no clue on how to run a business, a retail business where people were buying things from me and I had to make it and package it and do all the things. I didn't know how to do that. I was winging it. And then I got my first few sales and OMG, I was like, listen, I was all over my little soap studio room. And it felt good, but at the same time, I started to get paranoid because I was like, I'm going to miss something. Something is going to be missing, whether it's one of their products that they purchase, whether it's a business card, whether it's, could it be better? And that's my thing. I'm always thinking about how can I make something better? How can I streamline this? So one, I don't miss a beat. I don't miss anything. Everything is going to be shipped out. But I also make it where when they open that box, first of all, when they receive it, first of all, when they place their order on my website, do you see where I'm going? So everything needed to be streamlined from the rooter to the tutor. How user friendly is this experience? And I remember standing there at that curing rack, and I was just like, oh my God, Michelle, stop. I put my hands on my head because I felt like I was about to have a nervous breakdown because I really didn't know what I was doing. And if I'm not mistaken, I did shed a few tears. They were tears of joy, but they were also tears of fear. But then I said, you know what, God, I trust you. Let me trust him real quick. Let me calm down. Let me step away. If I step away for just 30 minutes and write this out, nobody's going to miss anything. They're not going to miss me. So let me just, let me make sure that this package that goes out from here on out is going to be an amazing experience when they open it up. So learning how to streamline your process needs to be very intentional. And that is my favorite word now. Intentional leads to awesome. Awesome leads to I'll be back. Okay, now let me piggyback off of what I just said, and let's talk about embracing authenticity. Let's keep it real. Keep it real, because I remember the very last thought in the midst of the chaos that day. I was like, I need this to be very, very authentic. I want it to be genuine. I want it to be normal, but I want it to be amazing at the same time. I don't want them to think that I'm being phony with how I set everything up, because I need to be able, hear me out, I need to be able to present this every single time. Every order that comes in from the rooter to the tutor, it needs to be the same beautiful, amazing, intentional, awesome experience for my customer. It needs to be great for the end user. All right. So understand this. One of the most important things that you guys really need to remember as you grow your maker business is to stay authentic. In the world of handmade goods, oh my goodness, your personal story is a huge part of your brand. I was talking to a young lady that I met. She knew me. I didn't know her from Adam, but she knew me. And it was just by coincidence I met her. And she was like, oh my God, I know who you are. I follow your page. I love what you said about this and how you said about that. It struck a nerve, but I knew it was true. And it was like, wow, that was just amazing. And so I got to thinking about her brand. When she first talked to me that same day, I said, well, I think this was the question. I was like, how did you get started? I always want to know that story, because she did not tell me that immediately, because I come from a story with my business brand. I want to know everybody else. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you right here, right now with this business? And she told me that she learned from her father. He had his own business where he had to make a certain type of soap for whatever it was. And he taught her. She said her first batch was accurate. It was correct. And if you know anything about soap making, that is very hard to do. And so I remember calling her or texting her. I said, listen, this was maybe a week or so after meeting her. I don't like to step on people's toes, but I'm also a brand and business launch expert. And so I like to give people my downloads that I receive about them and their brand. And so I said, listen, I need you to hear me out. You need to tie your story of how you got started into your business brand. And she was like, oh my gosh, elaborate, tell me more. And so I did. And she was like, wow. And I told her the reason why I said that, because I was so intrigued with her story about her father, someone before her, having a soap business, and now she's doing it. Guys, I don't know what it is about that, but history just drives me nuts. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's just a way to keep things going, and it's a way to keep things authentic and genuine. It's a way to have a connection. It's a way to keep the chain link going, if that makes sense. People want to know at the end of on the other end of this chain, what lies there. I see where this chain is right now, but on the back end of this chain, what's there? And that's your story. They want to know how you arrived to this place. Okay, customers, they're not just buying your product, they're buying a piece of your heart, your passion, and your journey. And you cannot, under any circumstances, be afraid to share that with them. So, pro tip on embracing your authenticity: share your story on social media. Share it at markets. Let it be in your talking points as soon as you open your mouth, because it's going to lead to the benefits of why your business exists. What is the benefit of your product? Why is it here? Why is it so amazing? Why should I try it? Okay. People love to feel connected to the makers behind the products that they love. I learned that a while back. And that felt safer to me, if that makes sense. I felt safer representing my brand when I understood that concept. People love feeling connected to the makers that are behind the products. They love to see the behind the scenes. They love to see how you arrived to this point. They love to see how you handle the daily task and the day-to-day of running your business. They love to see all the stuff, the trauma, the good stuff, the happy moments. They love to see all of that in the midst of you getting their products to them. They love it. They eat it up. Okay? Keep it real, guys. Keep it real. Keep it personal. And never be afraid to let your unique voice shine through. All right? That is pivotal. It's going to be extremely pivotal in your business. So, there you have it, guys. Growing your hands-on business as a maker is all about being visible. It's about being consistent and, above all, authentic. So, whether you're hitting up farmers markets, whether you are setting up pop-up shops for exclusive features, or even if you're connecting with local retailers, remember that growth doesn't happen overnight. We have to get that out of our heads. Get it out of your soul. But with dedication, guys, with passion and a whole lot of heart, your handmade business can thrive. It will thrive. All right? Please remember that. Never give up and always. Guys, I hope today's episode has sparked some ideas and given you the confidence to step out and get your products into the world. You've got it. I promise. So stay creative, stay authentic, and keep showing up, because your business deserves to grow and the world deserves to experience your amazing creations. Until next time, guys, keep emerging, keep creating, and keep making magic. Bye, guys.